Automatic Bar Machine Operator Training Program. Lesson number 1. Basic Controls and Operations. The purpose of this training program is to help you become a good operator of the New Britain automatic bar machine. The training consists of several of these television tapes, which will be your main source of basic information about the bar machine and the correct operating procedures. Although there are several minor differences among models of the New Britain automatic bar machine, the basic information will apply to Model 62s. This training tape will identify by name, show you the location of, and explain the purpose for each of the major components of the New Britain automatic bar machine. This is the main power switch, located on the right side of the electrical control panel. This switch provides power to the machine. With the main power switch in the off position, the controls are inoperative. Two other important components are the control stations, one located on the front of the machine. And one located in the rear. The purpose of the control stations is to provide convenient locations for the control of the machine's operations. All the controls on the control stations are clearly labeled with their functions. Read these labels carefully. They're in different arrangements for every machine. Know the arrangement for your machine. Every machine has a control which starts the main motor and a control which starts the spindles turning. On some machines there are two controls, and on some machines these two functions are combined on one control. The spindle switch controlling the spindles has two positions, jog or run. In the jog position, the spindles will turn only as long as the switch is depressed. Use the jog as little as possible to avoid unnecessary wear on the machine. With both the spindle switch and the feed control in the run position, the spindles will run continuously until a spindle runs out of stock, or until the stop button is pushed. Under normal machine operations, the spindle switch will be in the run position. The stop button is used to stop the turning of the spindles. On some machines there may be separate controls to turn off the spindles or the main motor. On other machines, it's one control. A locking attachment on this button provides a safety feature. When the lockout is engaged, it protects the operator from accidental starting by making the spindle push button ineffective. The amber light on top of the machine is the end of cycle light. This light indicates when the machine has stopped at the end of the machining cycle. The machine will not feed or index. It stops in the drawn back position with the tools disengaged immediately before index. The red light on top of the machine is the out-of-stock light. This light indicates there is an out-of-stock condition in position 6. The machine will stop and more stock must be placed in the machine. This is the threading switch. It's located on the electrical control panel. By using a large screwdriver or a coin, you can change the machine from left-hand threading to right-hand threading. When the threading switch is in the left position, the screw machine will use the proper thread clutch ratio to enable the machine to produce left-hand threads. Changing the threading switch to right-hand reverses the thread clutch ratio to make right-hand threads. The coolant switch operates the coolant pump and is normally left in the on position. The off position is used to see the machine operations better when setting up or for inspection. The cycle off switch is used to stop the machine at the end of the operational cycle. In the on position, the machine will run until an out-of-stock condition occurs. Turning the cycle off switch to the off position will stop the machine at the end of that cycle. The machine will shut off with the tools drawn back and the feeding stopped and the spindles turning. The feed control permits the cycling of the machine. They cause the tools to be fed into the stock. The feed start control may be a button, or it may be a lever. In the jog position, the machine will feed only as long as the feed start control is engaged. In the run position, the machine will feed automatically until an out-of-stock condition occurs, or until a stop is pushed. Before engaging the feed start control, be sure that the coolant is flowing. This is a spindle. This view of the rear of the machine shows there are 6 spindles on this machine. The positions are numbered 1 through 6 in this order. The spindles revolve through all 6 positions in the course of making one part. The purpose of the spindles is to rapidly turn the stock. There are several other parts inside the spindle that hold and feed the stock. However, it's the spindle that furnishes the rotating motion. This is the spindle carrier. Its purpose is to hold the spindles. During indexing, the spindle carrier is lifted a few thousandths of an inch and turns on a bronze shoe. The carrier lift indicator on the top of the machine lets the operator know if the spindle carrier is lifting properly during indexing. This is a very important wear prevention feature and should be observed often each day. The white indicator point will move if the carrier is lifting properly. Stop the machine immediately if the indicator does not move during indexing. This is a cross slide. On this machine there are 6 cross slides, the cross slide in position 3 being an option. The cross slide performs machining operations from the side of the stock to shape outside diameters and to cut off stock. In most machines, each cross slide performs a different step in the machining operation. Here is the tool slide. It's capable of holding a tool for each spindle. The purpose of the tools on the tool slide is to perform most end tooling operations, such as drilling, reaming, facing, threading, recessing, and broaching. With all the tools in operation, a large amount of metal chips will be produced. This chip conveyor removes the chips from the base of the machine. The hand crank mechanism allows the operator to manually pass the machine through any portion of a cycle. It's used mainly during setup and for checking individual operations. A safety control rod locks and unlocks the hand crank mechanism. This completes your first television training tape. You may watch this tape as many times as you need to fully understand the material. Remember, you must be able to identify, locate, and explain the purpose for each component of the New Britain automatic bar machine shown on this tape. Return to the operator's booklet for Step 3 of Lesson 1 in becoming a good operator.